Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Start, Sit, Advice, and Touchdown Predictions. This is all about the tight ends in Week 10. Before we get rolling here, as I always say, please, for 2 seconds of your time, 2 clicks, a like and a subscribe. We have some production features locked for us by YouTube. We need to become a YouTube partner to unlock them. We need your support to do so. So it's a small effort for you, big deal for us. And, we have a ton of good fantasy football content, so hopefully you enjoy. But let's just dig right into Thursday Night Football now. 4 tight ends, the LA Chargers versus the Oakland Raiders. And I love both of these primary tight ends for both teams. Hunter Henry is a touchdown candidate, a definite start. Darren Waller, I don't really have him get in the end zone. He's actually on my team. I have him as a tight end. I'm going to be playing him this week. I don't think he'll get in the end zone, but I think he'll get you enough catches and yards to move the chains, just like earlier in the season. So keep an eye out there. And also keep an eye out for Foster Moreau. I think he does have a chance to sneak in the end zone, maybe snake, as I always say, snake that touchdown away from Darren Waller. But Foster Moreau, man, he's a really good tight end. He's still a little bit obscure and under the radar for some people, but he's solid, man. I think Oakland's going to be doing a lot of 2 tight end in this game, so keep an eye out. Arizona versus Tampa Bay. I don't like Max Williams. I don't like Charles Clay. I don't think either one of those guys gets in the end zone. For Tampa Bay, if O.J. Howard plays, I think he scores a touchdown this week. If he doesn't, it goes to Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate is not a start for me if Howard plays this particular week. I don't say that every week. This week, I think that's the case. Atlanta versus New Orleans. I think you start Austin Hooper every week. Austin Hooper is a touchdown candidate for me, but I think it's more likely the touchdowns go to Ridley and to Julio Jones. For New Orleans, I actually like the matchup for Jared Cook this week. I don't think he gets in the end zone, but I think he's kind of a fringe start at the tight end position. Baltimore versus Cincinnati. A lot of good tight ends on Baltimore, but I think Mark Andrews bounces back, gets into the end zone this week against Cincinnati. For Cincinnati, the rookie quarterback, even if I like Tyler Eifert this week or Uzma or something like that, I do not like the quarterback situation. And Baltimore's defense has improved since acquiring Peters and trade there at defensive back. They're getting healthier in the defensive backfield. I don't like it. I'm going to stay away from the Cincinnati passing game this week. Buffalo versus Cleveland this week. Keep an eye out for Tyler Kroft. He was injured for most of the year. And Dawson Knox did pretty well, but this Buffalo offense is starting to work, as I've been saying kind of since the beginning of the season, they're starting to work the short and the middle parts of the field a little bit more. We've seen Cole Beasley be a little bit more active. I have a nice projection on him this week at the wide receiver position. I do not have a start projection for Tyler Kroft, but keep an eye out. He should be on your radar, everybody. Now, for Cleveland, whether it's Harris or Seals Jones, by the way, I believe is still questionable. He was the last time I looked at the injury report. I don't have any of those guys statistically projected to get in the end zone or starts, so I don't like them there. Carolina versus Green Bay. I like Greg Olsen. He's a touchdown candidate this week to get in the end zone. I think that it's more likely that DJ Moore gets the touchdown this week than Greg Olsen, but I think he gets you enough offense to warrant the start. For Green Bay, I do not like Jimmy Graham or anybody else. And I don't think they get in the end zone. Detroit versus Chicago. Hawkinson, I think, is a fringe start. I think the touchdowns are more likely to go to Jones and Galladay. I do think Hawkinson will be involved, though. I also think Detroit, a lot of these teams are starting to try to attack Chicago just by running up the middle and hitting running backs out of the flats. I don't have great projections. I think Chicago's been doing a really nice job, at least the last week or maybe 2 weeks, of shoring that kind of, I would say, maybe leak up in defensively. For Chicago, I don't start Trey Burton under any circumstances anymore. You're dead to me, Trey Burton. But seriously, analytics-wise, I don't have him projected to get in the end zone, so I would not warrant him starting this week. Kansas City versus Tennessee. I like Travis Kelce. He's a touchdown candidate for sure this week. I like it. I think he gets into the end zone once. For Tennessee, Jonnu Smith, Delaney Walker, keep an eye out. I don't really like either one of these guys to get in the end zone, though. So I think he can do better elsewhere. Miami versus Indianapolis. Mike Gesicki, he has a nice projection on him. Keep in mind, Miami's losing people left and right. They lost their starting running back, Mark Walton, to a 4-game suspension. They lost Preston Williams at the end of last week and had a really nice game. Torn ACL, I think, out for the year now. So Miami, he's the last guy standing, I guess. Gesicki, he has potential. He's a good player, but I think he's a guy that's more of a sleeper for next year. I thought he was a sleeper this year. It's not really working out for him. He could get in the end zone. It wouldn't shock me. Like I said, he's kind of a fringe start for me, actually. So that to me means probably like two catches for 30 yards and a possible touchdown. For Indianapolis, I think this is going to be a ball control offense. Although my projections for Ebron and Doyle are kind of minimal, I think that both, because T.Y. Hilton's out, because Jacoby Brissett is a little bit gimpy if he plays. If he doesn't, then Brandon Hoyer will be in there. I don't know. I think that the tight ends outplay the projections. I think both of them, it would be a risky play in your fantasy football league, but I say, cycle them through in daily fantasy. LA Rams versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually like Gerald Everett quite a bit this week. I think he's one of my favorite waiver wire pickups and plays if he's still available for you. I have him projected at 12 and a touchdown candidate. He and Cooper Kupp, I think, are going to actually lead the way. I think Gerald Everett might even outscore Robert Woods this week, believe it or not. For Pittsburgh, I think Vance McDonald would be the play. Vanette, I wouldn't play. But, he's kind of a fringe start. I would start McDonald, but I don't think he gets in the end zone this week. Minnesota versus Dallas. I do not like Kyle Rudolph this week to get in the end zone. I know he found the end zone, I think, last week, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't love him this week. Same with Irv Smith. I don't think either one get in the end zone. I do think Jason Witten could get in the end zone this week. He's another one of my favorite waiver wire pickups and plays this week. He's a definite stream option against this tough Minnesota defense. Minnesota's going to do everything they can to lock up Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. I think Jason Witten will have some opportunities, and I do not think Jarwin's a start this week. And by the way, I actually called the Jarwin touchdown last week. How about that? It's a really weird, random thing to get, but my analytics like Jarwin, and he ended up scoring. Go figure. Let's see, Seattle versus San Francisco. I love Hollister, but not in this game. I don't like the projection against San Francisco, the way these matchups are going to shake out. I do think Kittle is a great matchup, and I think he finds the end zone once, potentially even twice this week. So there you go. That takes me through the tight ends. I do the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers as well, so check out those videos. I also have a ton of stuff in the Week 10 playlist, game previews. I'm going to be giving out my top 10 computer projections for each player, including the projections. And as always, if you want the full projections, please, they're free. Email me. You can email me at functionalsportsaholic@gmail.com. You can also tweet at me. I'm at TFS_Sean. Find me on Twitter. I'll figure out a way to get them to you. We got 8 weeks left, including Week 10 of football. So, let's prepare for it, right? All right, everybody. I think that takes me through the episode. We'll catch you on another one soon. Thanks, everybody.